Hello students, welcome again to the English class. And now let's proceed further with the chapter Bholi. We had ended the previous session when the teacher had encouraged Bholi by saying that she had to put the fear out of her heart and this way she would be able to speak like the other people. And then Bholi was astonished to hear that. She looked up at the teacher. It seemed that as she wanted to ask the teacher if she would really be able to speak like others. And now let's continue from next page. Yes, it will be very easy. You just come to school every day. Will you come? And now the teacher told her that it would be very easy if she would come to school every day. Then she would be able to speak like the other people. Then she would not stammer. If there would be no fear in her heart. Bholi nodded. No, say it aloud. Yes. And Bholi herself was astonished that she had been able to say it. As the teacher was asking her the questions, but Bholi was still nodding her head. But the teacher said, not to nod, but she said her that you have to speak aloud. Then Bholi also gave the answer, and she herself was astonished. She was surprised that she was able to say, didn't I tell you? Now take this book. The book was full of nice pictures, and the pictures were in color: dog, cat, goat, horse, parrot, tiger, and a cow, just like Lakshmi. And with every picture was a word in big black letters. Now, her teacher gave her a book which was full of pictures, and these were the colorful pictures, and there were the pictures were of different kind of animals, and also there was a word that was written in black letters. It was surely the name of the animal. In 1 month, you will be able to read this book. Then I will give you a bigger book, then a still bigger one. In time, you will be more learned than anyone else in the village. Then no one will ever be able to laugh at you. People will listen to you with respect and you will be able to speak without the slightest stammer. Understand? Now go home and come back early tomorrow morning. Now the teacher handed her over this book, and also she told Bholi that after she would be able to read this book, then she would give her a bigger one, and then one more book that would be bigger than the second one. And also she assured her that after reading these books, one day she would be a learned person, and everybody in the village would respect her, and also she would be able to speak without stammering. And then she told Bholi to go home, to go back to her house, and also told her that tomorrow morning she would be back in the school. Bholi felt as if suddenly all the bells in the village temple were ringing and the trees in front of the schoolhouse had blossomed into big red flowers. Her heart was throbbing with a new hope and a new life. Now, the teacher motivated her, encouraged her, and also after listening the words of the teacher, her heart started throbbing. Now she had new hopes in her mind, and also she was hoping a new life. She was very much happy when she came back to house. Thus the years passed. The village became a small town. The little primary school became a high school. There were now a cinema under a tin shed and a cotton ginning mill. The mail train began to stop at the railway station. Now many years passed, and there was progress in the village. The village was changed into a small town. Now the little primary school in which Bholi had got her education, that had become a high school, and now there was a cinema in their village. There was a cotton ginning mill, and even there was a mail train that began to stop at their railway station. One night after dinner, Ramlal said to his wife, "Then shall I accept Bishambar's proposal?" Now one night, Ramlal, father of Bholi, was talking to his wife, and he was asking her if he would accept Bishambar's proposal. Yes, certainly, his wife said. Bholi will be lucky to get such a well-to-do bridegroom. Yes. Now they were talking about the marriage of Bholi, and there was a proposal from Bishambar, and he was well-to-do, means he was the richest one. A big shop, a house of his own, and I hear several thousand in bank. Moreover, he is not asking for any dowry. Now Bholi's mother also said that they should accept this proposal, the proposal of Bholi's marriage by Bishambar. As Bishambar was a rich man, he had a big shop, even he had his own house, and also there was much money in bank. He had a bank balance also, and moreover he was not demanding any dowry. That's right, but he is not so young, almost the same age as I am. And he also limps. Limps means he cannot walk properly, just like a lame person. Moreover, the children from his first wife are quite grown up. But there was a problem with the man, with Bishambar, as he was already married and he was almost the age of Bholi's father. He was not so young, and also he was lame, and he also had children from his first wife, and they were also quite grown up. So, what does it matter? His wife replied, 45 or 50. It is no great age for a man. We are lucky that he is from another village and does not know about her pock marks and her lack of sense. If we don't accept this proposal, she may remain unmarried all her life. But Bholi's mother was very much happy with this proposal, as she said that he is only 40 or 50 and this is a quite great age for a man. This is not a great age for a man. And also she felt that they were very much lucky that he was living in another village. That's why he didn't know about the pock marks on the face of Bholi. And also he didn't know about the lack of sense with Bholi. And also she suggested they should accept the proposal. Otherwise, she would remain unmarried all her life. Yes, but I wonder what Bholi will say. What will that witless one say? Witless means without common sense. She is like a dumb cow. Maybe you are right, muttered Ramlal. In the another corner of the courtyard, Bholi lay awake on her cot, listening to her parents' whispered conversation. But now father said that Bholi would not be ready to accept this proposal. But her mother said that she has no common sense. She is just like a dumb cow. And also Ramlal also accepted. Ramlal also agreed with his wife's words. But in the another corner of the courtyard, Bholi was listening to the conversation of her parents. Bishambar Nath was a well-to-do grocer. He came with a big party of friends and relations with him for the wedding. A brass band playing a popular tune from an Indian film headed the procession, with the bridegroom riding a decorated horse. Now the day of wedding came. Bishambar Nath came to their house with a big party. There were many relatives of his, and he was riding a decorated horse. Ramlal was overjoyed to see such pomp and splendor. He had never dreamed that his fourth daughter would have such a grand wedding. Bholi's elder sisters, who had come for the occasion, were envious of her luck. Envious means jealous. Now Ramlal was very happy to see Bishambar Nath and his relatives. He had never seen such a pomp and splendor. He was very happy, and he had never dreamed that his fourth daughter would get married like this. Even Bholi's elder sisters were jealous of her. They were envious of her luck. When the auspicious moment came, the priest said, "Bring the bride." Bholi, clad in a red silken bridal dress, clad means covered, Bholi was wearing red silken bridal dress, was led to the bride's place near the sacred fire. Garland the bride. One of his friends prompted Bishambar Nath. The bridegroom lifted the garland of yellow marigolds. A woman slipped back the silken veil from the bride's face. Veil means covering, as she had covered her face. But one of the women who was standing nearby Bholi, she slipped the silken veil from her face. Bishambar took a quick glance. Very quickly he looked at Bholi. The garland remained poised in his hands. The bride slowly pulled down the veil over her face. But now the garland remained in the hands of Bishambar, and the bride very slowly pulled down the veil over her face again. "Have you seen her?" said Bishambar to the friend next to him. "She has pock marks on her face." As Bishambar had took a glance of Bholi's face, and he asked to the nearby friend who was standing nearby him, and he said that she has pock marks on her face. "So what? You are not young either." But his friend said that, "So what matters if she has pock marks on the face? Even you are also not the young man." "Maybe, but if I am to marry her, her father must give me 5,000 rupees." And now he said that although I am not a young man, but if I am to marry Bholi, then her father must give me 5,000 rupees. Now it means he was demanding dowry. Ramlal went and placed his turban, his honor, at Bishambar's feet. "Do not humiliate me so. Take 2,000 rupees." But Ramlal, Bholi's father, requested her. He placed his turban in the feet of Bishambar, and also he told him to take 2,000 rupees, as he was not able to give him 5,000 rupees. "No, 5,000, or we go back. Keep your daughter." But Bishambar Nath said that he would take 5,000 rupees, otherwise he would go back. He would not marry his daughter. "Be a little considerate, please. If you go back, I can never show my face in the village." Then out with 5,000, tears streaming down his face. Ramlal went in, opened the safe, and counted out the notes. He placed the bundle at the bridegroom's feet. But now tears were falling down on his face. They were falling just like a river, just like a stream. But he went inside and he opened the safe and counted out the notes, and he placed the bundle of 5,000 rupees at the bridegroom's feet. On Bishambar's greedy face appeared a triumphant smile. Triumphant means victory. Now Bishambar, who was a greedy person, now appeared. He has got victory. He was smiling. He had gambled and won. It was just like a gambling. He had gambled and won 5,000 rupees. "Give me the garland," he announced. Once again, the veil was slipped back from the bride's face. But this time, her eyes were not downcast. Her eyes means here the Bholi's eyes were not downcast. She was not looking downwards. She was looking up, looking straight at her prospective husband. And in her eyes there was neither anger nor hate, only cold contempt. Now there was only disrespect for her husband in her eyes. She was not angry, and she was not showing hatred towards her husband, towards her prospective husband. Bishambar raised the garland to place it round the bride's neck. But before he could do so, Bholi's hand struck out like a streak of lightning and the garland was flung into the fire. Flung means thrown into the fire. She got up and threw away the veil. Now, as Bishamba raised the garland, as he was going to place it round her neck, she at once, her hand at once her hand struck out like a streak of lightning. Very quickly, she hit the garland and the garland was flung into the fire. And she threw the garland into the fire. She got up and threw away the veil. Pitaji, said Bholi in a clear, loud voice. And her father, mother, sisters, brothers, relations, and neighbors were startled to hear her speak without even the slightest stammer. Now, as she spoke, Pitaji, everybody was surprised, everybody was startled there as they heard Bholi for the first time that without stammering. It was the first time when she spoke without stammering before her relatives, before her parents. Pitaji, take back your money. I am not going to marry this man. Now, she refused, she denied to get married with Bishambar. She said that she told her father to take his money back. She would not get married with Bishambar. Ramlal was thunderstruck. The guest began to whisper, so shameless, so ugly, and so shameless. Now, even Ramlal was also thunderstruck after hearing the words of Bholi. Even all the guests started calling her shameless, so ugly, and so shameless. Bholi, are you crazy? Shouted Ramlal. You want to disgrace your family? Have some regard for our izzat. For the sake of our izzat, said Bholi, I was willing to marry this lame old man. But I will not have such a mean, greedy, and contemptible coward as my husband. I won't. But now, Bholi's father, Ramlal, started shouting. He called her mad, crazy, and also he told his daughter as she was disgracing her family. But Bholi said that she was not disgracing her family. She was doing all this only for the sake of their family's respect. Otherwise, she would not have married such a lame man. And now she said that I will not have such a mean, greedy, contemptible coward as her husband. And she would never get married with such a man. What a shameless girl. We all thought she was a harmless, dumb cow. Bholi turned violently on the old woman. Yes, auntie, you are right. You all thought I was a dumb, driven cow. That's why you wanted to hand me over to this heartless creature. But now, the dumb cow, the stammering fool, is speaking. Do you want to hear more? But now, as one old woman called her shameless girl, she became very much angry. Bholi became angry and then she turned violently towards the old woman. And then she told the woman that now this stammering fool has started speaking. And if you want to hear more, she would speak some other sentences also. And now she is not a dumb cow. Bishambarnath the grocer started to go back with his party. The confused bandsman thought this was the end of the ceremony and struck up a closing song. Now Bishambarnath with his big party went back to his house. Ramlal stood rooted to the ground. Ramlal was still stuck to the ground, his head bowed low with the weight of grief and shame. He was feeling very grief, he was feeling sadness, he was very much shameful, and still he was standing at one place. He was rooted to the ground and he had bowed his head. The flames of the sacred fire slowly died down. Everyone was gone. Ramlal turned to Bholi and said, But what about you? No one will ever marry you now. What shall we do with you? Now, all the relatives had gone back to their houses. And then Ramlal turned to his daughter and said, Now what about you? You, no one will ever marry you now. What shall we do with you? Now he said her that there will be nobody who would marry her. Now what they would do with Bholi. And Sulekha said in a voice, Sulekha, Bholi. Sulekha said in a voice that was calm and steady, don't you worry, Pitaji. In your old age, I will serve you and mother, and I will teach in the same school where I learned so much. Isn't that right, ma'am? Now, Sulekha spoke in a low voice that when her parents would be in old age, she would serve them, and also she would start teaching in the same school from where she had learned so much, she had got education. And then she asked to her teacher who was standing there, isn't that right, ma'am? The teacher had all along stood in a corner watching the drama. The teacher was also there at the time of marriage. She was watching everything. She was standing in a corner. Yes, Bholi, of course, she replied. And in her smiling eyes was the light of a deep satisfaction that an artist feels when contemplating the completion of her masterpiece. Contemplating means thinking of. Now she replied that yes, Bholi, you are right. Now you can become a teacher in the same school from where you have got education and you have taken the right decision. And even her eyes were smiling, the teacher's eyes were smiling as she had got deep satisfaction. And her deep satisfaction has been compared to the artist who feels very much happy when he completes his masterpiece. So, in this way, she has also completed her masterpiece in the form of Bholi. She had got education and now she was able to take her decisions. So, students, now this is all about the chapter and I hope you have understood it very well. Okay, students, goodbye and have a nice day.